What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode in the Den with Dan and Mike. This is Dan. I'm here with Mike,
What's up?
as usual. We'll just get right into it this week. We're gonna go ahead and tackle the dessert bracket. We had some votes come in via the Facebook page that we started for the podcast. The podcast itself was posted on YouTube and linked from our Facebook page. We're still working on the website itself. But we got a decent amount of votes, so thank you everybody for voting. We'll run through that and preview the next round of matchups, which would be the Sweet 16. We'll also talk about the update of, we'll recap the Home Run Derby, basically the Aaron Judge show, the All Star Game, which was a yawn snore fest, and maybe hit another topic or two before we end the night. So, what's going on?
Oh, yeah, also the YouTube channel, too. Got that at the YouTube channel. Did you tell them?
Yeah, I said that. You paid attention to me?
No, I was sleeping. No. And I'm listening to these damn annoying dogs outside, so if you hear that, just ignore it. Nothing's going on. Just,
Well, before we get in the dessert bracket, I wanted to know, did you see your boy Lonzo Ball put up back-to-back stellar outings? This most recent one was with a new pair of shoes. He was not wearing the... what was it, Big Baller brand?
What did I tell you in the first podcast? I don't want to talk about him ever again.
It's D-League or
dead
Summer
to me.
League.
He's dead to me.
But it is what it is. He almost had like back-to-back triple-doubles. He's playing well. Yeah. I loved it, though. He was in Kobe's shoes. He wasn't in
It's
Big
called
Ball.
Summer League.
I know.
Wait till the big boys come.
Yeah, I agree. But I think he's going to be good. I just think at first night he was out, he was horrible. And he's had two good ones. I had to bring it up because you love him so much, and I feel like you want to keep him alive. Him and his dad, you want to keep running on this podcast. We talk about nothing else other than the Ball family.
Yeah, so I enjoyed having you guys over the other night for the All Star Game. We'll switch subjects there. Every year, I think for the last, I want to say about 6 or 7 years, probably except for the 1 year where we weren't living here, I've invited people to do the All Star thing. I'm not like some geek that watches 168 games, but the All Star Game's kind of cool. Bring people together, have some ice cream, some hot dogs.
How many games? 168.
62. That's 168.
You don't know how many games.
God, look at that.
That's just terrible.
Man,
I'm looking for a new partner. I'm looking for a new partner. Anybody that's out there that wants to.
Yeah, what are you 168 from? Anyways, 162. But yeah, the All Star Game was a snooze fest. I fell asleep. You left around 10 o'clock and. Eventually, what was it, 2-1 in net extras?
Yeah, Cano hit the game winner off Davis.
Right.
Doesn't mean anything because it's back to exhibition. So I didn't like the whole World Series is determined by All-Star Game, but then when you don't have it and they're playing for nothing, it was boring as hell. I mean, you had a pitching duel in which you didn't have really aces going at it. I mean, you had a couple aces go for an inning here and inning there, but I don't care about Pat Neshek or... Chris Davinsky or any of those guys. I don't care to watch them one inning at a time. I can watch game 168 to see that. So I thought it was boring.
I did like Max Scherzer just mowing people down.
Yeah, he was.
That was pretty good.
Scherzer was awesome. Did you like A-Rod going around the diamond in his suit?
I absolutely freaking hated that. I was waiting for him to pull the suit off like Superman. And want to say, I'm going to take third base.
Or who's the other? Tom Verducci. He said, I forget what question.
Whatever.
It was some
it's such
terrible
just
softball
cheesy,
just to get himself on TV.
And it's like what Fox does. They find all the cheesiest ways to...
Did you hear that they're done with writing content? They're not putting any more writing content on their site. It's all
really?
video now. So they're trying to be cutting edge with their programs and their...
So I think the big thing, rather than the All-Star Game, was that home run contest. I think that was... probably one of the best home run contests since I've seen in a while. That was phenomenal. Aaron Judge is a freaking man-child.
Yeah, I have to confess, I didn't watch it live. I don't have cable right now, and it's probably for the foreseeable future.
He's one of those great cord cutters, boys and girls.
Yeah, but I was paying attention on Twitter, and I had some side bets with a buddy going, so I definitely knew what was happening. And then I watched some highlights afterwards. But yeah, from everything I saw,
that's all you needed.
Aaron Judge was.
Whew.
I heard pop-ups were just...
Oh, pop-ups. It was just ease, too. But you know who else was really good, and again, not knowing all these guys, is Michael Bohr.
Justin
Bohr.
Jeez,
God dang, man. I'm actually, people on the Facebook can be like, why don't you fire this jerk right now? I was thinking Michael Bourne, but no, it's
Michael Bourne would have been great.
Oh my God, he was fantastic. And when he's sitting there pumping the crowd up, and the crowd was into it, and the other guy, Gary Sanchez from New York, he was pretty good too. And he was one of those guys where they said that, it wasn't one of his like best attributes to go out there and be crushing balls like that, but he just all of a sudden came up and was hitting these balls, and they were pretty good.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
it was pretty fun to watch.
Yeah, he's not a 50 home run guy like Judge,
right?
Teammate, but he is a masher. He can hit the ball. The one I was pissed about was just Bohr getting in. We talked about it. I really wouldn't bother there. But, Bohr held his own. He lost in the first round, but what are you going to do when you go against Aaron Judge, who hits 87 in the first round?
I think Bohr had, 22, and then
22.
Judge, it was insane.
So, the highlights I saw, I mean, Judge is the real deal. Judge during
was the
executioner.
longest. 5:13.
Yeah, I mean...
It's freaking mashed.
I got nothing else to say. He's the MVP of the first half.
And he's huge.
In first place.
You hit me to this a few weeks ago. You're like, no. One of our friends hit me to him when he was at the Orioles game, that he was standing next to one of the Orioles and he dwarfs everybody.
Yeah, it was Chris Davis. He was standing next to Chris Davis, and he made Davis look like
he is huge.
Like your wife.
So
super small.
Now, I did sort of guide you in a different direction. I'm interested. Did you watch any of the old school home run derby?
No, I haven't had a chance yet. I didn't even know they existed.
Yeah, so I showed Dan. As a kid, I remember watching these on ESPN, like way back in the day. They had like Mickey Mantle versus Harmon Killebrew, and they had Hank Aaron versus somebody else at that time that was really a big home run hitter. But they were fantastic. Nobody in ballparks.
Right. 3
guys, a pitcher, a catcher, an umpire.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. So check it out on YouTube. Just look up Old School Home Run Derby. Put in Mickey Mantle, Hank Aaron. They're really neat, and they're anywhere from like the 50s and 60s.
Is it the same type of format, like 10 outs or whatever?
Yeah, they did the whole out. So really, you might only see like 6 or 7 home runs.
Right.
It's not like they're bashing them nowadays. But
that's pretty
cool. It was
pretty
neat.
I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. All right, well, let's recap the bracket since we asked people to vote and we debated that for a good 25 minutes last time. And we'll go through region from region. Let's start with ice cream since we spent so much time there last week, and our top 2 seeds in our minds, or at least my number 1 seed, vanilla,
right,
and your unbeatable number 1 seed, chocolate.
Well, the funny thing is, my wife goes a few days ago. She's why are you idiots arguing about something that you're not changing people's minds on? Because
that's what we do.
So we had the number 1. You know what? I'm gonna start from the middle. We had the 4-5. We said Cookies and Cream, Rocky Road. We thought that was gonna be a really good matchup. Cookies and Cream took it away, 73% to 27%. Yeah. So I think
tell me why?
Because it has vanilla in it?
It's vanilla base over chocolate base.
Okay, we'll come into that real quick. Don't worry. So anyways, Cookies and Cream advances number 4 seed. Go to the bottom of the bracket. You got the number 3 and 6. This was my entry, and I'm so proud that my entry won.
Congratulations.
Peach versus Strawberry, and Peach won 60-40. So hey, Peach is a solid flavor. Just had a peach for dinner. Peaches are fantastic.
You had a peach for dinner?
Yeah, it was part of my dinner. Yeah.
Who the hell eats peaches for dinner?
It's with my dinner. I had fruit with my dinner. Peaches are fantastic. Whatever.
All right.
Peaches are free. Peaches are for everybody. Peaches for me. So, anyways, let's go to the number 2-7 matchup. This one, this is like back in the day Gonzaga beating somebody. Mint chocolate chip, the number 7 seed, takes out the number 2. Chocolate, 67 to 33. It looks like.
Yeah,
it's pretty phenomenal. But mint chocolate chip, I think, was kind of disrespected because there's a ton of people love mint chocolate chip. I just didn't want it.
No, I said this last week.
Oh.
No, I said I'm not a huge fan, but I said it's going to crush chocolate because people love it.
Whatever.
And chocolate chip in the 8 seed. Chocolate's okay, but it's a topping.
I have a whole bucket of chocolate in my freezer.
You know why there's a whole bucket? Because no one's eating it. That's exactly why there's a whole bucket.
Because we didn't have enough people the other night. And then the number 1 versus the number 8. This would be the second round in the NCAA. Vanilla strawberry cheesecake. And once again, thank you. My entry of strawberry cheesecake.
You love patting yourself on the back when your entries win, but you
love it.
But then chocolate gets murdered, and you're take no credit for that.
So in the next round, you guys will get the vote between the 8 and the 4 seed. They were all upsets. No, except for the strawberry.
And the peaches are an upset.
Oh, that's right. They weren't upset. Okay, never mind. I don't know. I'm like asleep. We're doing this at 8 o'clock, guys. My day's done. Dan's day's done. I'm kind of sleepy right now. So
you can't read. You can't write.
I can't do much of anything.
Right.
So number 8, strawberry cheesecake will go against number 4, cookies and cream. Number 3, peach will go against mint chocolate chip. So that'll be up there for you guys to take a look at. If you could go ahead and vote again. I think that the
cookies and cream will probably win 100% to 0. No one likes strawberry cheesecake. I guess vanilla is exactly that. It's bland, and some people, 40 or 60% of people just thought it's too bland. But If you guys vote, you
It's
vote
peach strawberry cheesecake.
If you vote
That's
strawberry
it.
cheesecake,
Both of mine will be in the finals of that bracket. I love it.
It's a lock. Mint chocolate chip.
I love it.
Mint chocolate chip.
Mint chocolate chip probably will
it's
come
coming
out
of
of
the
the
region.
Yes. They were not seeded correctly.
Nah.
By the tournament committee.
Should have been higher.
Maybe they should have.
Same side of the bracket. So to recap, we strawberry cheesecake and cookies and cream will face off, and then peach and mint chocolate. Same side of the bracket was the other bracket. It was the I forget if we gave it another term, but it was other. So we had the number 1 seed was milkshake versus our number 8 Ryan Arnold. Creme brulee.
Please tell me the creme brulee won.
No, creme brulee got
house
smashed.
Nice.
Not as bad. It wasn't the biggest smashing out here, but it was 80-20. So we had 30 total. But we had 30 total votes, by the way. So we're not.
Sample size ain't huge.
Yeah, we're not quite to ESPN standards at this point, but we're making our way to Fox News. So milkshake had 80.
Fair and balanced. I don't know what to tell you.
Milkshake 80%, creme brulee 20. So milkshake's going to move on. The 1 takes care of the 8. Then we had tiramisu as the 4 against baklava. Tiramisu wins 60-40.
I've
had
50-50.
Yeah, it's not 50-50. It's 60-40.
What I'm saying, I'll go either way with them. They're both very good.
You like to go both ways. It's okay.
Mm-hmm. That's right. And I will get you some baklava.
I'm going to skip 3-6 because this was a debate before. Yeah, it's a good one. We're going to go 2-7. 2-7 was brownies and cannoli. What do you think?
Oh, I think brownies had to take it. That was kind of unfair in the first place because brownies are sort of like, besides apple pie, like the American, it's like the American standard.
You just complimented apple pie.
I'm saying for the idiots.
Last week you crapped all over apple pie.
For the idiots in this country that think that they have to go with what the standard is, then apple pie is American. But you know what? Cherry's my thing. We'll get to that in a minute.
I agree.
Okay.
You're all over the map.
I am.
Brownies 73%.
Everyone loves brownies.
Cannoli 27%. So we got the 2.
That was for my wife. She said that was a tough one because she loves cannolis. She loves the Italian.
73% of people aren't sure what.
Italian baker with cream in the middle.
Thank God in this instance. So we got the favorites went on so far, the 1, the 4, and the 2. And then we had the number 3 frozen water snowballs versus the number 6 burger cookies. It was close.
And there was a lot of complaints about this, I'm going to tell you.
Complaints?
Complaints.
Oh, I didn't
Why
know.
would you put up those two against each other?
Because...
No, there's lots of complaints.
What is the complaint?
That they're people love both of them.
Okay,
they're a staple in the state of Maryland.
Make a decision.
They should be 1 and 2, probably.
Over milkshake and brownies?
We're in Maryland. Burger cookies and snowballs. You put some marshmallow and snowballs, it gets everyone creamy and wet. I don't know what to tell you.
Anyway, thank God frozen water is out. We no longer talk about frozen water, snowballs.
So you don't like popsicles? You don't like freezing
No,
pops?
I don't.
Oh my God.
I shouldn't say I don't like them, but I'm not averse to them. I'm not a big fan.
Yeah.
If you were going to say pull out a, what do you call them? One of those ice cream cone things, prepackaged, whatever. Or do you want an icy or a popsicle?
You must have had a terrible childhood.
No, I had them all the time. I just didn't like them.
Oh my God.
Anyway, burger cookies 53-47, so it was kind of close.
Close, yeah.
But burger cookies are going to move. So in that side of the bracket, or that region, we'll have milkshake versus tiramisu. That's going to be a crusher, and then burger cookies versus brownies should actually be pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll take the next one. I'll let you finish up.
I think milkshake comes out of that though. I think milkshake is like the universal.
I think it's going to be milkshake versus mint chocolate chip in the final 4.
That would be something I would blend.
Should have been vanilla. Should have been vanilla.
Vanilla milkshake versus vanilla ice cream. Oh, Jesus.
Should have been vanilla versus brownie. Vanilla and brownies together are delicious.
How about a brownie batter milkshake?
That sounds delicious. As long as it's a vanilla base.
And what we do at the end with the final 4, we just put them all in a blender and eat them.
Or we should just have them out here for the podcast.
Oh,
no one's listening anyway. So
no, that's right.
We can just eat
might do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we'll go to the other side of the bracket. I will take one, and then Mike will. I'll give you the pies since you like to harp on your.
Just not the hair.
Okay. So we'll go to cakes, and let's see. What should we start with here? We'll start with 2-7 cheesecake, pound cake. Cheesecake was the favorite. Cheesecake wins. A lot of people like cheesecake.
Can't see my thumbs pointing at me because I told you how silly cheesecake is.
Everyone likes cheesecake. It's not
That's right.
Except
you don't.
for me.
Right.
I get it. It's one of those foods. There's food you have, right? That you want to eat or you want to like, and you try it once in a while.
What you need to do is you just need to try to eat it. Just put some fruit in it, or get one that has chocolate cheesecake.
I have. I'm going to the Cheesecake Factory and peanut butter cup cheesecake. I love peanut butter and chocolate. I can't do it. I've tried it over and over again. It's like another one for me is tomatoes. Random, but I want to like tomatoes. I want tomatoes in my sandwich. I see people slice them up, put mozzarella on them or whatever.
You drool when people do that?
No, but it looks appetizing.
Why can't I look
And then I bite into a tomato, I'm like, this tastes like ass. That's how I feel about cheesecake.
Oh
so
my
anyway,
God.
the cheesecake won 2/3 of the vote, 67 to 33, so the 2 seed will move on. We'll go up to 3-6, that was carrot and hot milk cake. Any guesses on carrot hot milk?
Carrot.
Yeah, carrot 60 to 40.
A lot of people didn't know,
What hot milk was?
Yes.
Yeah.
but then they said they've always had some sort of version of it.
Well, I mean, if you got
But-
40% of people voting for it, you
Yeah.
got enough educated people out there.
But carrot cake's another one of those like top 3 standards. Been
Yeah.
around for
yeah,
freaking centuries.
I mean, I like it. I don't love it. You said
Yeah.
last week, I think you're like, whatever. But it won, so it's going to be carrot cake and cheesecake. Really, two of not my favorites going against you. I hope carrot.
But guess
wins.
what's involved in both? Cream cheese.
I know that's one of the reasons it's not my favorite. I hate cream cheese.
Oh my god!
all
What do
right.
you do for breakfast? You don't like bagels either?
I like
With
I like
cream cheese?
bagels. You put peanut butter on them.
Oh god! How do you survive in New York? What would you do in New York? You have to put peanut butter in there.
I don't survive in New York. I live
Oh.
in Maryland. I've actually only been in New York once, so I don't have to worry about it. All right, 2 other matchups. The
jeez.
number 1, number 8. This was the only unanimous decision, which is kind of strange. There's no one that voted for sponge cake. Boston cream pie crushed it. The 1 seed won 30 votes to 0 and moves. I'm not surprised.
I
it
would
won.
love to do a donut bracket because I guarantee you, like a Boston cream
Oh.
donut would
Yeah.
beat everything.
You know what? I'm taking notes right
Put
now.
that down. Put it down.
Donut bracket.
And then what we can do is maybe just eat them while we do it and really put it to the taste test.
Donut bracket. I've got a couple. We're gonna do a bracket like once a month or something like that. But anyway, yeah, Boston cream, 100% sponge cake dairy. All right, and finally, in that side, we had red velvet versus devil's food. You love your red velvet. I love devil's food. We put them up against
love
each
both.
other. Put them up against each other. Mine versus yours, and of course, mine wins, 53 to 47.
Chocolate. Yeah.
Just like my burger cookies versus your snowballs took it down. So the Sweet 16 side, or the Sweet 16 portion for that region is Boston cream pie versus devil's food cake, and we'll have carrot cake versus cheesecake. The winner coming out of that will eventually get the winner from our pie region, which Michael will go over now if he can read.
And
if he can read.
If I can read. And what I'm going to say before that, there were some honorable mentions after we put this out. A lot of people gave me some grief. Where was Rice Krispie treats? Where were funnel cakes? Where was
God.
the...
There
and it
was only
like,
8.
I know. And it was like, wow, I forgot about some
Yeah,
of these.
those are good ones, and they're probably better than tiramisu and baklava. You know,
Maybe.
we'll never know because they weren't in the bracket.
Because they weren't there. And I went to a carnival and I'm eating...
We should have carnival
Funnel
food.
cake.
We have a carnival food
and
bracket.
I'm just like, why is this not
we
on?
should just do bracket podcasts. We should change our name.
Oh, Lord.
All right,
No, because I like talking sports.
All right, the hair
So
pie,
do
the
you.
hair pie bracket.
All right, the hair pie bracket. I'm going with the number 1, 8, first of all, because this just proves the point of
Yes.
both of us.
Yes.
Cherry pie. I mean, it's just phenomenal.
Yes.
What are you going to do?
It's the best dessert. It's the
So,
number 1 overall.
I really feel it's going to be cherry
How
pie
close was
versus 67-33, so 2/3 to a third.
20
But
to 10.
I really think it's going to be cherry pie versus either the mint chocolate chip or the milkshake. That's going to be the finals, one of those.
Yeah.
And then you had the peach pie, which is I love peach pie. If you come to the local joint up here, Boggers, it's fantastic.
I love that you've been to Boggers and you tout that. By the way, we're not getting paid for sponsorship yet, so anybody from Boggers that's listening will take $10 for that one.
Yeah.
I think you threw Baskin Robbins out last
Yeah.
week. I threw Hoffman's.
Yeah.
He hasn't been to Hoffman's though. He's lived here for like 3 years and he's never been to
Yeah,
Hoffman's
there's
ice
10
cream.
other places that are better. I told you about
How
that.
do you know you haven't been?
We're going to move on. So anyways, this was a rout, which I can understand because when people get their pumpkin pie, it's at one of the best times of the year at Thanksgiving. So people love pumpkin pie, 93 to 7%.
Hold on. So you touted peach. We're not.
I love peach.
That's fine. You can love peach. I'm not a big peach or pumpkin. I can eat either, but I'm not a fan favorite. It's not a fan favorite of mine. But it is seasonal. You said that last week, and I don't disagree. But I think it also just goes to show people. I don't think of it as just seasonal. I think it might be me and you. You know, it's July.
And it's still out there. Pumpkin pie is there. You can get it wherever you want.
Oh yeah, absolutely, because it sells.
It's not going to be fresh and good. But I think, when people think of pumpkin pie, they're going to be...
Christine made pumpkin muffins today. Homemade pumpkin muffins.
Probably great. Pumpkin bread, everything.
Oh, yeah, I had 3 of them today.
But
2
see, I
for
don't do
breakfast
that.
and 1 as a snack.
Pumpkin's October to December.
You're
That's
wrong.
it.
It's 93 to 7.
That's it.
No, it's July. It says it right there.
Again, there's a way to do things my way, and there's a way that everyone else does it. All screwed up.
All right.
Okay, the next one, and I'm going to tell you something right here. This tells me that Cherry's going to win this bracket because apple pie only beat lemon meringue 3-6, 53-47. less of a percentage of a win than cherry pie beat pecan pie.
Oh, God, you can't even speak.
That's pecan, whatever. Right. Apple pie took the number 3, and then the number 7 was an upset in my mind. Banana cream took key lime.
Yeah.
But I think that key lime, for some people, it's either hit or miss because of the tartness.
But isn't banana?
Can't do it.
I mean, I feel like
I don't know. Banana cream is so fantastic.
See, I don't like it.
It is fan.
Do you like banana ice cream?
I love everything banana.
See, you would. I can eat a banana for breakfast, but I don't like banana pudding, banana ice cream, banana cake pie. Banana on my cereal, banana on top of my peanut butter, on top of my bagel.
Oh, God.
No, I don't like.
When I'm in school, I have to make sure I eat the banana in my room because I don't like walking out with a full banana.
You do weird things with bananas.
I like to play hide and seek with bananas, you know?
Yeah.
So anyways, we're going to have the number 1.
Zip.
We're going to have the number 1 cherry pie go up against the number 5 pumpkin. Number 3 apple go up against the number 7 banana cream. So, real quick, go back to the
just
go back to the ice cream.
If you listen to nothing else, hopefully you enjoy the fact that we're going to come down to the ultimate champion for desserts. I mean, it's going to be the final deciding factor across the nation. The best dessert will be from this podcast. So help vote.
Soon to be on Food Network.
Yeah, help vote for this. Even if
get out early, get out often.
Right, even if you ignore the rest
you
of
can
our
vote
podcast.
multiple times if you want.
Oh, did you?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you did, huh?
No, I did.
And
one vote.
And Chocolate's still lost.
Once.
Look at the integrity of this guy. He can't read or write or do math, but he can vote multiple times.
So we got strawberry cheesecake, cookies and cream. I can't tell you because I like strawberry cheesecake more, but I agree. Probably cookies and cream will take that.
Yeah,
then you got peach versus mint chocolate chip. I think mint chocolate chip takes that definite. You go to the bottom. You got milkshake versus tiramisu. I mean, that's
a landslide.
Yeah, landslide. And then you've got
burger cookies and brownie. I think brownies win, but I think it's going to be a good one.
That would be something they put on at 9 o'clock on a Thursday night on CBS. That's the prime time matchup, right?
Oh, that's good.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So we'll see what that is. And then, like I just said,
that's Iowa State versus Nevada. Right there.
That's
5-12. That's 5-12.
So then you got cherry and the pumpkin.
That's actually going to be a good one.
That's going to be a good one,
If people are dumb.
That could be a huge upset.
If you are dumb, you vote pumpkin. If you're American and like desserts.
So please write that down so when pumpkin wins, we can call all these losers it just dumb.
I call you dumb all the time, so I don't have a problem finding
So then you have apple versus banana cream. And I think, obviously, I don't like apple per se. I mean, I'll eat it, but it's not my favorite. But I think that wins over banana cream. So I think it's going to come down, honestly, to cherry and apple pie. It's going to come down to that.
I think apple wins, and I think it's going to be like one of 60, 40, 70, 30. I think cherry pumpkin is, honestly, a coin flip. Not for me. But pumpkin is so damn popular. It went 9-7 over a peach.
I'm telling you, when people eat it, they think of Thanksgiving
I really
Day.
hope cherry wins. If cherry doesn't win, I'm going to be sad.
And then at the bottom, you got the Boston cream and Devil's Food, carrot and cheese. I personally think it's going to be carrot versus the Boston cream. Devil's Food could beat them because everyone likes a chocolate cake.
Yeah, I think Boston cream and Devil's Food. It's just the Boston cream has that custard whatever in it.
Yeah,
and a lot of people like it. Obviously, or they just don't know what sponge cake is because they want 100% to 0. But I think that's a coin flip. I think carrot and cheesecake are a coin flip.
Now the interesting thing, if you went to a baseball park and you interviewed people about this, you can't get any of this shit at a baseball park.
You can't get any of it?
No.
So you get ice cream?
You get ice cream.
All right, well you get some of it.
A little bit of ice cream.
God,
you can't go get a cherry pie at a ballpark.
I love when you talk. It's like listening to Skip Bayless or Stephen A. Smith.
It's fantastic when I talk.
It's 90% incorrect.
The whole thing was a segue into now doing the baseball. Okay?
I want to talk about food. All right, what are we doing in baseball?
Well, first of all, how do you enjoy the drink we're drinking here? A little RAR. You enjoy that? Anaerobic soak? I think it made me mess up because my face is on fire.
Yeah, you keep checking yourself in the mirror.
I don't know what's going on.
You look hot tonight.
I know.
You should stop.
So anyways, we're drinking some beers tonight. It's 8 o'clock, so having a little late happy hour here.
Double IPA?
Yes.
RAR,
one of their
Cambridge,
releases.
Cambridge, Maryland?
Yeah, in May I think it was released. They're actually releasing something in 2 weeks called Stunt Cock, one of their American IPAs.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Pretty
nice
good.
Little label. Yeah, nice little label.
Where'd you have it?
My brother-in-law gave me one.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, my brother-in-law gets all these, and he'll let me get one. He's bringing back a key lime pie goes from Myrtle Beach.
Gosa,
whatever you want to call it.
You're a freaking beer fanatic. You can't pronounce.
I say goes.
You say it incorrectly.
I don't like Gosa.
You also spell banana. You also spell banana with
Well, anyways, you can't get these beers at the ballpark.
Correct.
let's switch it over to the ballpark now and what these guys are doing in the ballpark, in the major leagues. All-Star break's done. Tomorrow is Friday. Baseball comes back. The worst part of the year is over, and Dan even wouldn't let me talk about the ESPYs. I wanted to talk about the ESPYs, folks.
I haven't watched the ESPYs since
Fantastic
I haven't watched
ESPYs.
the ESPYs since 1962. Since Mantle was playing Aaron in the old.
And by the way, I hope you understand I'm just joking because the ESPYs are a freaking joke.
Yeah, I saw some tweets
anyways.
last night about Manny making fun of Durant and Westbrook. Did you watch any of it? Because I don't. Yeah, okay. I saw that.
I don't even know what
I saw
I did
Manny
last
was
night.
funny at times, but so if you tune in for the ESPYs,
I watch
we're
reality
not
TV with my children. That's what I do.
You watch
Reality TV. My kids love
First
Big
off,
Brother.
Double loser there. You hang out with your children,
Right.
Loser, and then you watch reality TV, double loser.
Well, reality TV's good. There's some chicks in there, not too bad on the eyes.
What are you watching? Big Brother?
Big Brother? Yeah.
What do they? Explain Big Brother to me because I don't know what Big Brother is.
You got about 16 people go into a house and they're sequestered there for about 90 days, and they
Sequestered?
have
Like they can't leave.
no. They can leave. They get kicked out, you nerd. They can't leave the house. They have no TV. They have no connection to the outside world. And they play
You
games.
don't believe that?
Yes, 100%.
You don't believe that when the cameras are off, they're
They have no phones, they have no TVs. Because there is something called Big Brother After Dark where there's a running camera that you watch 24 hours a day.
they have no phones, they have no tablets.
Nope, nothing.
So other than hooking up, which I'm sure is part
rampant.
of it, right? Other
Rampant.
than that, what do they do? I mean,
They
I
talk
don't
strategy, they talk.
So it's like Survivor in the way that you're forming alliances and trying to vote the next guy
A
out.
lot of guys go work out all the time. Girls get in their bikinis, hang out by the pool.
So that's essentially it. It's just
Remember the video game Sims?
Yeah, that's
Exactly what it is.
That sounds awesome.
Exactly what
I
it
might
is.
have to get DirecTV back just for it's the Sims.
My wife and I have watched it for 19 seasons. So
Okay.
yeah, it's fantastic.
We used to watch
anyways.
Survivor and Amazing Race, but
I think everyone did. So yeah, no, that's what I did last night. I didn't watch the damn SBs. But anyways, baseball's coming back tomorrow. It'll start winding up, and we got some great stuff coming down. We got baseball.
Winding down.
No, baseball's winding up.
Starting
Come
up.
back up.
Starting up.
Okay,
winding
starting
down.
up, winding, whatever.
Come on, we're at the 26-minute mark. People are going to stop listening.
We are going to stop. Okay, so anyways, I'm trying to make this great segue into that we now have something going on in sports where we got baseball. We're going to have the British Open next week, and in 3 weeks,
I can't wait. For
in
the
3
British
weeks,
Open.
we got football coming back.
No,
Can't wait.
No, we don't.
Yes, it is.
Football
We're going to be
is-
talking training camp. We're going to be talking hard knocks. We're going to be talking ready for the season
No.
in September.
We're going to be talking about game 140 of the baseball season,
Oh,
preparing
God.
for game 168 in the Gifford season.
Fantasy duel. So, tell me a little something. Today is Thursday, and one trade did go down. It was, again, I'm going to say this, but is it Jose Quintana?
Yeah, Jose Quintana.
And he went from the White Sox to the Cubs, and I want to give you a little nugget before you start in. Only 2 times in the last century have the Chicago Cubs and the Chicago White Sox traded players. They said it's very rare for teams like New York Mets and the Yankees, the Cubs, the Nationals and the Orioles because of their thing to do the trade. So what do you think about that trade today?
I think it's an interesting nugget, and if you love Trivial Pursuit like my partner here does, that's a great piece that you should file away for a future question. But whatever. Teams are teams. Everyone's trying to get better for next year, or as the Cubbies are doing now, trying to make a push for a repeat. Mm-hmm. What do I think about it? I think the Cubs gave up a legit prospect, a top 5, top 10 guy. But who they got back is somebody who's under team control for the next, I think it's 3 years through 2020. So it's 2017. Yeah, for the next 3 years plus this year. So they didn't just get a rental. They got a strong...
A guy they can put in their lineup for a year or
a
two.
strikeout guy. Yeah, 3 or 4 years. A strikeout guy that pitches from the left side. They've had some issues this year with Arrieta hasn't been what he was last year and the year before.
But you guys called that too. You guys said all of a sudden Arrieta came from the Orioles to the Cubs and he's fantastic. So he's really coming back to where he's supposed to be.
Maybe. I mean, part of it could be the Orioles suck at pitching and pitching development, and then he actually got good or better and became. I mean, he won a Cy Young, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he won a Cy Young. Because he actually was allowed to throw his cutter, which the Orioles wouldn't let him throw.
True.
I think he's coming back down to earth because there's some regression, but I also think there's some level of injury. His velocity's been down a little bit, but he's been pitching through it. They haven't put him in the DL. So, but anyway, he hasn't been as good as he was the last 2 years. Lester has not been as good. Lackey's on the DL and has not been that good. I'm definitely blanking on their other starters right now, which is terrible. Their bullpen's pretty solid. Wade Davis is their closer, even though he gave up the game-winning home run in the All Star game. But Quintana gives them depth, and he gives them a top 3 starter. I mean, if he came to the Orioles, he's their ace. Hands down. Like, it's not even close, right? Like, if he goes to the Nationals, he's rivaling Gio for the number 3 spot. So what they did is they gave up a legit minor league prospect that the White Sox can now rely on for their future. But the Cubs, they got the piece they needed. They needed starting pitching, okay? But let's talk about the White Sox for a second, because I don't think people, unless you're a Chicago White Sox fan, appreciate the team that is 10 games below 500 and what they do. In the Chris Sale trade, in the Quintana trade, and I'm blanking on the other one. It was a trade to the Nats. I can't remember. Who they went to? Oh, Eaton.
It was
Adam
Eaton, yes.
They've gotten back top tier guys. They got Jan Makata from the Red Sox, who's about to come up. They got what's his name? Ramirez now from the Cubbies. I forget who they got from the Nats, but Giolito or whatever it was.
Giolito.
And somebody else. There's another good one in there. I wish I remembered it. But anyway, my point is, the White Sox had some really star-studded talent, but they had nothing around it, and they realized it, and they were sinking. They traded it. They've got some really good prospects. And I think in a year or two, you're going to see the White Sox challenge the Indians and possibly the Royals.
And for the small things that I do know, that's what I've been reading up and looking at, that they are now creating one of the better minor league programs, one of the farm systems out there. So what they're doing, and the interesting thing is, I was just looking up the standings here. Besides the West in the NL and the East in the NL, none of these teams who are selling their guys within the next 3 weeks are completely out of it. No. You have teams like the White Sox, they're 9 games out. Okay, they're not going to win the division. But you know what? Maybe if they bought a guy or two, they might be able to do it. But obviously management is saying, listen, we're going to go ahead and take this chance now to bolster our farm system, get rid of some of these guys,
so I think and
look for the future.
Right, I think the thing they're looking at is the Indians went to the World Series last year. They're playing good ball right now. They are 9 games back. The division is very hard to win because they have to jump 4 teams to get there. But maybe the wild card is more realistic. That's the thing. We talked about this in the very first podcast. There is no team in baseball that I think is further than 9 games out, maybe. That's a lie, because the Athletics are really bad.
Yeah, in the West, it's pretty...
Yeah, but roughly, most teams, almost every team, is within 7 to 9 games of a playoff spot because of that second wild card. Mm-hmm. And there's teams that get hot at the second half of the year. The Blue Jays did it a year or two ago. The Orioles did it when they got Showalter. They didn't quite make the push at that point. But if you get hot at the right time, you can win that. Just get that one game, and that's a playoff game.
Right.
It's a playoff game. Your fan base gets ready, gets crazy, and those 2 weeks leading up to that is exciting. Yep. And if you win it, then you get a 3-game or a 5-game series. I think the White Sox are doing the right thing. They know that even if they make a run, which they're not going to do, they're at a 1-game playoff. Maybe they win that, but they're not going to beat any of these top level teams in a 5-game or a 7-game series. They're loading their farm system with top 15, 20, throughout it. Giolito has fallen a little bit, but he's still, considered a premier prospect. Yeah. Moncada's ready to come up, and now they got the Ramirez, who's a top 5 comer. So anyway, they're going to be ready to go within the next 2 years. And you got to be realistic. Sometimes you can't. First off, you can't win it every year. The Yankees can't win it every year. They've won 27 out of 120 or whatever. Mm-hmm. You can't win it every year. So you got to prepare yourself for the future.
So this isn't a game.
I thought it was a fair trade. Is my point.
Okay, let's play this game here since you know.
Conversation say it's a fair trade.
All-star caliber pitchers. I'm going to throw some names out. You tell me what you think of them, where you think maybe they might go. Garrett Cole, Verlander, Sonny Gray, Irvin Santana, J.A. Happ, Yu Darvish, Julio Teheran, Dan Straley, and Johnny Cueto. What do you think about those names? Do you have any idea where you think they might go?
Yeah, let's just start at the top. What was the first one?
Garrett Cole?
I think Cole gets traded.
You think? See, I just don't know. I mean, being a Pirate fan and knowing those guys, they're not so far out. I mean, they still can make a little run, and
I think they're going to be like the White Sox. So I think they're going to view it as I think they're going to trade McCutchen. I think they're going to trade Cole. I think they might trade Nova because Nova's stock is very high. But I think Cole gets traded. Where he goes, I don't know. I mean, the Astros are looking to shore up another arm because they have an amazing offense.
So it says Yankees, Dodgers, Astros, Angels, Braves, Brewers, Rockies, teams that are looking for pitchers.
And the Rockies always need pitching. The Diamondbacks have Greinke and Ray. I mean, I can see them making a push for it. The Dodgers have the greatest pitcher possibly ever in Kershaw, and they have a bunch of other good pitchers behind him.
And you know what they say about the Dodgers? They want to try to bolster their depth because they don't want Clayton Kershaw have to be that guy to pitch on a short game series.
Correct.
Which has hindered them, I think, in the past.
Yeah, so you have Kershaw, who, Mike and I, we're not going to get into it now, but we've debated whether he's the greatest pitcher of our generation. And, Mike makes an argument that Madison Bumgarner has 3 World Series rings. Clayton Kershaw has 0. Bumgarner pitches better at playoffs than Kershaw does. It's fine. He does. He has, or whatever. It's a very limited sample. But the bottom line is Kershaw is the first ballot Hall of Famer right now if he disappears off the face of the earth. He can only pitch, though, once every, at the best, 3 days on emergency notice with 4 or 5 days. So, yes, you need Rich Hill to step up. You need Brandon McCarthy to step up. And then if you get Garrett Cole or...
Honestly, I'm thinking and looking at these guys, and this is just from doing stuff in the past. Like, those guys that I would go after if I were the Dodgers, I like Sonny Gray and Johnny Cueto. I think Johnny Cueto comes with a pass where he can pitch in big games, and I think Sonny Gray is a good young kid that can go out there and pitch.
Sonny Gray was terrible the last 2 years. He's resurrected his career a bit this year. I can see him I can see him go after him more than Cueto because Gray's going to cost much less.
They said Johnny's got a lot of salary.
But you also have this. You talked about White Sox, Cubs, Mets, Yankees, Orioles, Nationals. You think that the Giants are going to help the Dodgers? Those two teams hate each other.
Yeah,
now, that said, if the Dodgers are willing to give up everything...
Yeah, the Dodgers are so far back right now. They're so far back.
So far ahead, you mean? You mean the Giants are so far back?
The Giants are so far back. That's what I mean.
That's what I'm saying. So if they can get...
And why not take some prospects?
They can raid the treasure chest.
Exactly.
Agreed.
Right.
But do they want to give the Dodgers a pennant? That's the thing.
Yeah.
So I don't see Cueto going there, but...
and Verlander's another one, but he's an oldie but goodie, but he's one of those guys that he's got a fantastic arm that just never dies.
Well, he died for 2 years. He was terrible for 2 years, and then last year he was like second in the Cy Young or third in the Cy Young. This year he's back, but this year's back to be a mediocre.
The way he was, yeah.
So I think you're going to see Verlander get traded if he goes to the Red Sox, if he goes to the Astros, if he goes to the Nationals, and it's going to take a mid-level prospect.
Is he still dating the chippy from the Sports Illustrated?
Yeah, Kate Upton.
Oh, so there's no excuse for
I was at that game.
Think?
I was at that game.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
Nice.
Kate Upton was down behind the dugout, all covered up, so she wasn't recognized.
Unbelievable.
Delman Young hits that
Sorry to interrupt your talk.
Bases clearing double off of Jabba Chamberlain. Not that I'm remembering this. Not that it was a highlight of my one of.
Besides making millions of dollars, how does a donk like him end up with her? It's crazy. So, anyways, I'm gonna move beyond the depth starters. There's something else on here about depth starters. There's a ton of.
Give me a couple
names.
of aces. Do you even know any of the aces on there?
Yes. You got Lance Lynn, who was really good a couple years ago.
Okay. Lynn's good.
You got Estrada, Marco Estrada. You got Derek Holland. You've got Andrew Kashner.
These are all terrible pitchers. Let's talk about the big one.
Okay.
I'm going to challenge you. Who's the big one?
Oh, let me look here. I'm challenging myself. It's got to be somebody that's not... I'm going with my boy from Pittsburgh a couple years ago, Francisco Liriano.
No, not the big one.
Okay.
The big one that's been rumored right now is Chris Archer.
No, he's not even on there.
Whatever.
And yes, Archer, I was listening and heard about Archer.
If my boy Dave Packer is listening, Dave loves Chris Archer because all of Archer's underlying stats suggest ace. And I actually don't argue that. His underlying stats are elite. He strikes out guys. He limits base runners. But his biggest problem is he gives up hard contact, which usually results in, not usually, but can result in home runs or a high home run rate. He has declined that a bit this year, but fantasy-wise is the main reason Dave and I argue it. It's his ratios don't match up to what you need in a fantasy starter or fantasy ace, not a starter. But Archer's rumored to be on the block. Now, there's two trains of thought here. You know where the Rays are in the standings? I'm challenging you.
They're only a couple games back.
They're 3.5 back of the Red Sox for the division, and they're right there in the wild card. So, right, the Rays have a shot at the wild card.
It's a nice little division up there.
Right. And the Rays are still deep in the farm system and on the roster itself. They may not be star-studded with Chris Sales and Aaron Judges or whatever, but they're still a very good team.
But I think you have to look at the long run, like you said with Chicago. Are you going to win a one game off wild card? Yeah. Or if you win that, are you going to win a 5-game to 7-game series? I mean, a 7-game series with.
Here's the thing: if you have
Red Sox,
but if you can get there, so here's what the Rays are weighing right now, and it's going to be: can we win the wild card or get one of the two? And then if you get to that point, you're throwing Archer in that game. He's your ace, okay? You have a decent shot. Then you have to give him up for the first 2 games of that series. You hope you can split it, and then steal though a 5-game series. But with Archer, you're going to get 2 games in the 5-game series, and you're going to get 2 to 3 games in the 7-game series. So the Rays have to weigh: can they get there and do it, and have Archer and a very good defense, and a solid offense, not a great offense, solid offense, or Archer's going to bring back everything. Whoever they trade him to, the price that they're going to get is going to be your firstborn, my firstborn, Billy Perryman's firstborn, Sienna, which is worth like
lots of
the
money
second
right
coming of Christ, right? So if they do trade Archer, it will be for the world. I don't think they do it. I think they try to make a run at it. The AL East isn't super strong, and they have enough of a foundation that I think they can get a chance at the wild card.
Yeah. Or if not the wild card, just a couple of years down the line.
Hey, Dave, I love Archer as a real pitcher. If he was in the Orioles, he'd be better than all 5 of our pitchers combined. But as a fantasy guy, he's not an ace. He's a second-tier guy.
So we're running down some time here because we love to talk about this. But let me just ask one more thing to you.
Yeah, we got a couple minutes.
The closers. Yeah. I think that's the big thing. And I'm going to say why. Because the team that my eye is on right now, because like I said, I have 15 different baseball teams, but are the Washington Nationals. Yep. They're 9 games up in their division. Mm-hmm. The only thing stopping them from being the best team in baseball right now is having a legitimate closer. In the offseason, they did nothing to shore up that bullpen. They said, we're going to go by, I guess, what you call bullpen by committee. They did make runs at Kenley Jensen. They did make a run at, wasn't he a free agent this year? No, who's the other free agent they were? Okay. I thought they made a run at him.
No.
Oh, okay. See, again, this is where I need Dan on this stuff. I'm sorry. No, but they made a run at
I don't know who they made a run at.
The 100-mile-an-hour pitcher from the Yankees.
Oh, Chapman. Okay.
Chapman, but I thought Jensen was in there too.
No, I think Jansen. It's Jansen.
Jansen.
It's not yeah. No.
Okay. So anyways, keep laughing at me, guys. But anyways, what I'm saying is the Nationals need a closer. Okay.
They do.
Zach Britton, in my opinion, being local, is the guy that they should go for. But the whole strife between the Nationals and the Orioles, I don't think that's happening. Right. So who are some of these closers that you think that are going to be moved and possibly fit the Nationals to make this big run for them to hopefully advance on the NLCS?
Well, so one of them has been rumored since the preseason was David Robertson of the White Sox. Now we know they're selling at this point after the Quintana trade. I think he goes somewhere. He's has electric stuff. He still gives up the occasional blown save because he gives up the home run, the long ball. But I think he's a good bet to go to the Nationals. There's the teams that are out of it, like the Philadelphia Phillies. There's Hector Neris, I think is his name. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think it's Neris. And as well as Pat Neshek. I could see him going any number of places. But
the Nationals have a 5.32 ERA in the 8th inning and beyond. Terrible.
The Tigers have Justin Wilson closing right now, and Alex Wilson setting off the Wilson. They're not brothers, but the Wilson brothers. Pitching very well, the bullpen. They're not going to compete, and I think they may sell Verlander. So there are 2 more possibilities. You said Britain, if the O's decide to sell. There's a handful of other guys. The Angels, depending on what they want to do with Trout coming back. I mean, they're not. They could make a push at the wild card, but they're 5-6 games out. It's not impossible, but depending on what they want to do. You got Bud Norris and Bedrosian in the bullpen. The A's are terrible. They have Doolittle and Casilla. There's a number of bullpen arms, and you're asking me specifically which one's going to be closer. I don't know.
No,
but I think there's
the names you threw out are all
I think
ones
there's
that I've read about.
Decent amount of. No. There's always a decent amount of good bullpen arms out.
Right, and the one little nugget I will tell you that I read about is that they said if the Nationals wanted Dave Robertson by now, it would have been done. So they're kind of down on Dave Robertson going to the Nationals because if they wanted it would have been done.
Who's they?
Well, people from the articles that I'm reading.
Oh. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying there.
I think the Nats are just weighing what they have, right? They don't want to give up. We talked about this in the very first podcast. They're not going to give up Victor Robles for a middle reliever or a closer.
Right.
No, they're not doing it. It's a stupid long-term decision. But they also don't want to give up a second-tier prospect for a guy who's going to pitch 1 inning 18 times the rest of the season. But they also recognize they need help in the bullpen. So they're going to get somebody. They might get Neshek, and they might give up a B-level prospect for it. I wouldn't rule Robertson out. I think Robertson's the one that goes there. I think he's the one that closes. And if they can get healthy. Like Sean Kelly hasn't been healthy. He hasn't been good, but he hasn't been healthy.
And really, none of those pitchers have pitched like they've pitched in the past.
Well,
so is there a chance? Is there a chance that in August, September that these guys have this rejuvenation that they can start? Like a Blake Trinan. He pitched pretty well for a small stint of time. I want to say 2 years ago and last year when he was in there. It wasn't bad, but now he's like terrible.
Bullpen arms fluctuate year to year, and he's not an elite one like an Andrew Miller, so I wouldn't bet on him, right? But David Robertson's been very good for about 4 or 5 years now. I'm just saying, if they get him, even if he is, top 15 instead of top, 5, it's better than what they have now, which is top 60. I mean, they just don't have guys that can get outs in high leverage situations in the end.
And the thing is when you're playing in postseason baseball, you're not going to be winning 9-2 games that the Nationals are doing right now. Correct. They have to be able to win the 1-2 games with good pitching.
But if they get to the NLCS against the Dodgers, right, and you're going Game 6 against Kershaw, and Kershaw gets to the 8th inning and has given up 2 runs against you, and you're 2-2 in the 8th, guess who they're bringing back out in the 9th for the Dodgers? They're bringing Kershaw back out.
Right.
Because Kershaw, they would bring Scherzer out too. It's not against Scherzer. But my point is, you gotta bring an arm out that can get 3 outs for you and give you another shot at the next guy. Now, that's a bad example because the Dodgers have Jansen after that. But you gotta have guys that can get outs in high leverage situations. There's the occasional mop-up duty in the playoffs, sure. But you gotta have someone, you can't match Kershaw, but can at least give you a shot to get to the next inning against the next guy. And they don't have it right now. Cody Glover's either got to get healthy, he's got to get healthy, and then he's either got to figure it out or they got to move on and go after one of these guys that's down.
Well, after my admitting that I am not the baseball person, which I probably will admit every podcast, but now you piqued my interest, and I will be up on this stuff to see what's going to be going on.
We got one more, so I think we have a couple minutes left, and we have one more we talked about the other day, and it's the Orioles, because they're both, you are like the Orioles and the Nats. I hate the Nats. I hate them with a passion. I hope they lose 168 games a year. But the Orioles, what do? They're 7 back, 7.5 back of the Red Sox. I'll take a look at the wild card. I'm going to say they're 5 back, 4 back of the wild card. We know Machado is gone in the next year and a half sometime. The question is, if you're the GM of the Orioles, and you get an offer, you get the right offer from Machado or Scope or Britton or O'Day.
All 3.
So you would do all 3.
I've spoken to a few people about this again with the baseball knowledge that I have. I honestly limited. I believe as the GM, I scrap it right now, and I say I'm riding with my 3 horses of Trumbo, Davis, and Jones, and I'm getting rid of the best guy on my team right now. Scope, which I can get a lot for. Manny has got to go this year. If Manny does not go, you get nothing in return for him.
He's got one more year. He's got one more year on the contract.
Right, but this year he needs to go because otherwise he's leaving without anything. And he's leaving. He's not going to be a guy that goes, you know what, I'm going to stay with the Orioles because I like it here. No, he's going for the big lights, the bright lights, the big city, all that good stuff that comes with it, just like Bryce Harper's going to do. Let's not kid ourselves. So do what you can right now to, like what the White Sox are doing, bolster that minor league system, your farm system, so that in 5 years from now, let's get some guys up there. Let's get some pitching prospects.
Yeah, they don't have a whole lot right now. Mancini's played really well at the major league level in limited roles. They have Mountcastle at Frederick. They have a couple other guys who've played okay, but they don't. You talk about White Sox having a very robust farm system. The Orioles is very barren. So I think if you're going to do it, if you entertain offers for Britton, I don't think you have to go on Machado and Scope because Britton's you and I
think Scope is the guy and Machado the guys you can get the most for, even over Britton.
I agree. But what I'm saying is I think you and I somewhat disagree on how important closers are, but I think you also understand my point of a closer still only gets 3 outs. You got to get 27 in a game. So if you can get something for Britton, I think you can survive as a team if you think the window is still there for the next year because that's all you have Machado for. To bolster your rotation in the offseason. Maybe you can't replace Britton, but get another good bullpen arm. But if you're going to trade Machado or Scope, you got to do both. You don't have to do both back to back.
No, but they got to be
you
gone.
Got to get rid of both of them because you're not building. If you trade Machado, you're not building a World Series contender in the next year or 2,
or around Scope.
Right. Well, you could, but they got to be ready around Scope, and they're not ready. So, and if you trade Scope is a complementary piece, but he's a very good complementary piece. And he's got long-term team control, so you're less likely to trade him because you can keep him for 3 or 4 years. Machado you can only keep for another year and a half. So Machado's probably the first to go. But once you trade him, it is like trading Bryce Harper or trading Mike Trout or trading Clayton Kershaw. He's having a down year, but he is a once in a franchise type, not once in a franchise, but once in a generation for a franchise type player. Once you do that, you've decided.
Right,
we can't compete, especially with a year and a half left.
And the thing is, I bring it back to like in football what the Patriots do. They've got these really good players, and they make a decision that guess what? At this moment, we know we're not going to sign this guy in a year or two. Let's get rid of him and let's pull in some really good dudes.
So
and I think that's an intelligent
the O's are going to
decision.
do? Do you have a feeling or any inside knowledge or anything like that? I think they're holding.
I think they're doing nothing.
Yeah,
just like you said. I think they're doing nothing. They're sitting back with their cards because I think they're saying, you know what? We're stubborn. We can go ahead and we believe we can make a run at what we're doing.
Agreed.
But
I think they'll add.
The pitching's not holding.
I think they'll add an arm, but it'll be an arm that you'll look at and be like, "Who is that?" I mean, you don't expect them to get a Chris Sale type, but they're not going to get an Ivan Nova type. Like it's not. It's going to be the fourth starter from the White Sox.
But the interesting thing with the Orioles is they have 3 weeks. So let's see what you're going to do in 3 weeks. Can you make up a game or two in 3 weeks? Can you make up 3 games?
Here's the worst part, though. If Buck does go on a hot streak, gets him to go on a hot streak, it's like that false positive or whatever.
True. But then they don't have to sell them. They can say, let's run with this.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you lose 12 in a row because you're not that good.
True. And then it's in August and you're like, shoot, why didn't we trade anybody?
So I think they stay put. I think you might see them add an arm or two. That is a very, same as they've done in the past. Scott Feldman types. It's not going to make a difference. I think they're going to come up 4, 5 games short of the wild card, 7, 8, 9 games short of the division. But going up next offseason, all this talk will be about Machado.
Maybe trade him in the offseason.
If you find an arm or two in the offseason, though, maybe make one more run at and see where you are next July. If you're this crappy next July, then you give
I never
up the
thought
rental.
about that, right?
I mean, as an O's fan, I think they need to trade them. They need to trade all of them. But if they're going to trade, if they're going to trade one, then you trade all. Otherwise, keep them, make one more run at, because they're all locked up for next year. You can do it one more time and hope you get lucky. Hope Trumbo relives last year's
maybe even
magic.
hope Machado has a better year that you can get more.
Yeah, well, and Davis hasn't lived up to it. So maybe Davis resurrects a little bit. Jones is still a decent player. Anyway, you have a chance if you bring him back, but you know that you're in your last leg at that point. So I think they stay put. Maybe add the fourth starter from some crappy team, and you're like. You get all excited because you get to go see them at the yard, and they don't make any real difference. But so the trade deadline's coming up. We got about 2 weeks left.
July 31st.
Yeah, so about a little more than 2 weeks. We've already had one semi-blockbuster. Could see a few more. It usually changes the landscape a little bit, but sometimes you just see like the best teams shore up what they need to do.
Get some depth.
And then we're gonna get into football OTAs or. Training camps. And
by the way, I watched that All In on Amazon with the Rams. I don't care what you say; it is fantastic.
Who wants to watch a 5-11 team?
When old 8-8
Jeff Fisher
comes in and has to say he was fired. I love it.
Oh, spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! Jeff Fisher got fired. Yeah, no, I watched the Cardinals.
Next week is definitely a week for. We'll finish up with the brackets, and then it's British Open.
Finishing up.
No, with this bracket.
Mike loves to just push things to the end. We're going to the Elite 8 next weekend.
Next week. The Final Four. So
and then the Final Four.
Move along. But really the big thing is British Open next week. Yeah. We want to come in, we want to talk about all the good golf that's going to be going on at Royal Birkdale, see who's going to be coming in, see if my boy Ricky Fowler can finally break through and get something.
He can't.
And see that slouch of a U.S. Open winner, Brooks Koepka, S the bed.
Did you see the one guy who bet the parlay for the majors winners?
No.
I didn't.
Parlayed all 4.
He parlayed all 4. He's got the first 2 right.
Oh, beauty!
It's 100,000 to 1. So he's halfway there. He's got the Open winner being your boy Fowler.
Okay.
And then he has the PGA Championship being Justin Thomas.
Wow. Okay.
So he's got 2 pretty good players.
Fantastic.
To go.
So we'll be looking forward to that next week. Next Thursday and Friday, we will be doing stuff at my house. 6 a.m. Bangers and mash, coffee and rum chadas, even Guinness at 8 in the morning. It'll be fun, boys and girls. Wish you all could come.
Hold on. I wanted to tell you. So I looked at the draft. Their DraftKings numbers are up already for the Open because we're going to do a team, right? We need to do that too. We need to pick a team on air that we're going to sponsor you, but back to your boy Ricky Fowler, though, is in the second tier of golfers in DraftKings. The first tier, you got DJ Spieth, my boy, John Rahm, is the third highest priced golfer.
Overrated.
McIlroy, Sergio, Rose, Day, Fleetwood, Stenson, Matsuyama, then Ricky Fowler.
I like Stenson. That makes sense. That's
then you got Koepka, Mickelson. You got a bunch of other. You got Thomas Peters is up there.
DJ doesnknow win this. We
you
can
know who
go.
wins it?
We are now.
We won't
50
go into
some
we
minutes.
won't go now. But you know who wins it? John Rahm. John Rahm, because I was going to bet.
We have to make a bet because if John Rahm does, I have to do something.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
I can't handle.
We'll have to make this a video podcast. Going streak naked through the quad.
It's like to sit here, right?
Right.
We're going streaking. Before we end this, I do want to say one thing. I do this often with the guys around here, and I just do it because I want them to know how things are going in my family and my life. But I want to give some props to my children. Both of my boys are swimmers. My one son, Jack's 12 years old, and he works his tail off to be a swimmer, and he finally got a first place doing the breaststroke this weekend in our tournament. I was very proud of him. He really busted his tail. My one son, Ashton, who is 2 years younger, is a really good swimmer, and he's had 3 tournaments this year.
An all-star, right?
He does 4 events each one. He has first places in 10 out of the 12 events. He's been killing it. He made 2 Maryland swim times for a tournament called the Straley Tournament. So I'm very proud of those boys, and I know you're proud of your daughters for doing everything. And I know I say a lot about them, but I'm very proud of what they do because I'm telling you, if you looked at me, I'm not athletic. I can't do any of this stuff. And for what my wife and I put them through, they show up every freaking time. So I'm very proud of them, and they have 2 more tournaments, and I can't wait to see it. So
his boys are very talented in baseball and swimming and just athletics in general. They're fun to watch. My kids, I got the 2 oldest that are in soccer and lacrosse and softball, and they definitely enjoy it. They have their highs and their lows. I think we're going to have to dedicate a podcast down the road to youth sports. I think Mike and I we fall on the same lines in a lot of things in our philosophies, but we do differ at times. How much we stress the kids, and what weight we put on certain things. But that'll be for another 50. We're on 55 minutes right now. 55 minutes. But
we're 17 minutes short. We're trying, guys.
Yeah, but I will support Mike in that. His kids are great kids. I enjoy hanging out with them when they come over and swim or play sports. Ashton walks the walk, and he definitely talks the talk. And Jack is just as talented, so just watching both of them mature and play has been a fun experience. And, it's my daughters as well. I mean,
this whole neighborhood, we got some kids that are going to be doing some good things there in high school.
Hey, Billy, if you're listening, Sienna is probably going to play pro lacrosse for like $1 a day or something like that. So, no, I'm just kidding, man. I love you.
All right, boys and girls, we are going to be out of here. Please check us out on Facebook. Look at our YouTube channel, In the Den with Dan and Mike. Give a listen. Fast forward if you want to go to certain spots. Make sure that you go ahead and vote on the, what did you say we are? The Elite 8?
No, we're Sweet 16
Sweet
now.
16?
We'll have it up right after this podcast in just a few minutes. And
so check it out.
We're still, the long-term plan is still to do the website. We're just, we're startup idiots that don't know what we're doing right now. So
you got that 45-minute car ride in the morning. Throw us on.
And we also, we had a goal of 30 to 45 minutes tonight. Mike tried to wrap me up a couple segments. I tried to do it to him. We're at 57, which is like our fastest by 11 minutes so far. So, I think that'll do it, right? Until next week when we preview the British Open.
British Open, baby!
Yeah, can't wait.
Let's do it.
All right.
Later.